I've been sitting here working mind-numbingly on these door trim panels, and I was thinking, and I really want to start a series of all of the kind of restoration bits and pieces that I do to this 4Runner. Planning this car being in my name forever, so I really want to get it right. Hopefully that's something people are interested in. And for the uninitiated, this is my 1997 4Runner with the 5-speed manual and the rear locking differential, and it's even got a sunroof. Anyways, today's episode is going to be about upgrading the sound system. The reason I'm working on these door panels, which you'll see in a little bit, is this nasty hole from an aftermarket speaker that I've already removed. In addition to fixing that, I went ahead and purchased new speakers for the front because these aren't even wired up right now. There was an aftermarket amplifier that was under the front seat there that I've removed, and that rendered these speakers useless. The rear speakers still work, but I went ahead and got new rear speakers as well. And then a CarPlay head unit, which is huge. I generally like to keep everything OEM plus, so I would have rather this just have the original stereo, but since it has this aftermarket Alpine head unit, I figured why not? Let's go crazy and upgrade to something a little more modern. So I have taken some footage before this, so I'm sorry about the jump cuttiness. If things don't make sense, I promise in future episodes they will, as I get better at documenting everything. I'm starting this video in kind of a weird spot. I'm actually at my apartment's like car wash place for the vacuum and everything. And I'm here because I'm trying to take apart, or rather, I'm trying to inspect this aftermarket Alpine stereo, preparation for the new CarPlay that I purchased. While I was here, I figured I'd vacuum out under here. Found these under the e-brake. So, score. I've already checked underneath the door panels. Speaking of hack jobs, I mean, every single wire underneath here that went to a speaker is now cut, and cut really close to the harness. We also have this mess of wires to deal with. So this went to the amplifier that was under the seat. So now I'm assuming that all of this runs up under the carpet and up into the head unit. I'd like to track those down, remove them. I'm gonna take it one step at a time, okay? I really want to see if what's back here is manageable. So far I've been able to remove these. We're still getting sound from the rear speakers, which is good. I really wish I knew what I was doing, because I'm gonna have to pull some wiring diagrams, do more of a deep dive. It's not gonna be as simple as I thought, unfortunately. I scratched all of that. I think I just scored big time. I did not realize that these were back here, but I believe these are the original Toyota harnesses. I mean, wow. Maybe a true professional did this who was thinking of me. So that means I don't care about any of these wires, and that's perfect. Really, all I'm gonna care about now is connecting wires back up under the door panel whenever I get the new speakers. But I mean, this is amazing. So now I've got this little trim piece off, and I started pulling, and I'm running into an issue where I think it must have been bundled up with some other wires and some electrical tape, and it's getting really hard to pull because of the stickiness, and it's getting tangled in this wire. One of my greatest fears is that there's like a zip tie bundle of cables under here, and that's just going to make it infinitely harder to get it out of here without, you know, doing some things to the carpet. So I found that stuff that I thought was electrical tape. It actually seems, I mean, it might be some kind of adhesive, but I think the wires are literally just melted into like this soundproofing or whatever this is, and I literally can't move it. I'm at the point where I can't pull on either end anymore. So until I can really get under the carpet, I think I'm just gonna cut these. There's nothing else I can really do at this point, except remove this seat and the console to really get under this carpet, which I don't want to do at all. So, okay, probably last update from this process, but I removed a bunch of wires. These are cut in half, and their ends are down in here. This one actually came out. I was able to pull it out. These look like speaker wires, so I'm guessing they might go to the door panels. I don't know, I could live with it like that. I really just wanted to clean up the mess back here. All right, so it's been about a week since I was behind the dashboard here and behind this Alpine head unit trying to figure out the wiring situation. Basically, I went ahead and ordered a Toyota to Sony harness, so that should be easy wiring. And then the speakers that I ordered for the front actually come with their own wiring harnesses, so I don't think I'll have to do any wiring at all. Today, preparation for putting in new speakers, I want to address this situation. I thought I could live with it, but this is just too messy for my liking. Also, whenever I was moving the speaker and the cover for this little pocket here, there must have been, I mean, you could see some residue from it that I just couldn't get off. I don't know how a mouse would have gotten in there, but I swear to you, a mouse crawled in here and died, because it was just this solidified chunk, not even chunk, it was just plastered all over the walls here. Hair, and it had this green gunk in it. With that in mind, and just the aesthetics of a giant hole in my door card, I went ahead and picked up some used ones on Facebook Marketplace. Now, they're not the exact same color. I think these were from a newer, model refresh. I think it'll match. At least that's what I keep telling myself to cope with the fact that it wasn't actually the same. But I think I'm just going to take the bottom half of this one and attempt to replace this bottom half, because I love these corduroy carpets and I'd like to keep them. So the way the back is connected is with these little plastic rivets, and according to ChatGPT, I can either drill or drive a screwdriver through these and disconnect them. So the plan is A, to see if that is even possible, and B, to assess the ability to reconnect to the other hardware once that is finished. I believe I might have to go get some actual screws, some actual hardware to reattach them, unless I get like a heat gun or something. Here's my tool of choice. I don't have a drill, so I'm gonna try to get into there with this. ChatGPT recommended removing the mushroom head, I guess that's what this part is, by drilling through, and supposedly it's going to disconnect. Again, I trust ChatGPT too much. We'll see if that actually happens. Surprisingly, that actually worked. Just like ChatGPT said, the pin is still left in there, but the mushroom head has come off. And now I'm free to move this apart from the rest of the door frame. So I think if I get all of them like this, I'll either drill a small screw with a fat head into this, or I'll remove the pin completely and just use another screw and hopefully try not to come out on the other end of the door card. Yeah, promising start. That time lapse is getting a little too long, so I went ahead and finished up the other one off camera. Unfortunately, or luckily, depending on how you view it, I started with the easiest one. And of course, the other ones were wider and just a little bit harder to get into with the screwdriver, but I was able to use the scissors. And once I introduced that, you can kind of learn the meta. This door did not take nearly as long. So yeah, I won't bore you guys with like cleaning them up or anything, or going to pick out hardware. But I did want to mention that I'm going to go with something that would tap into a hole that is the diameter of the screwdriver bit that I used. Found out that screwdriver bit I was using was an 1/8 of an inch, and so I found that a number 8 screw is the correct size for an 1/8 of an inch tap hole. And then I have these little washers, and I couldn't bring the door panel in there with me to test, so I got 2 types of washers, and we'll see which one works. I might even use a mix of both where I can. So it's the next day, and I did not plan for this, but it looks like it's about a thunderstorm. Fortunately though, if it rains, I might have to postpone the whole process. In the meantime though, I'm about to start tearing this thing down, getting the door panel out of the door. Even 2 or 3 minutes later, and it's starting to look a lot worse and thundering more, and the wind's coming in, so I'm gonna have to pack this stuff up. But did a little test fitment here, and I think that should be just fine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move inside, and hopefully I'll have enough room to work on this. If not, I might just go ahead and get started on the CarPlay. I pulled her in and I figured I'd just go ahead and do the CarPlay now, since I don't really need an outside space to work on this. I bought it on eBay. I think it's discontinued now, but I really wanted one with a CD player and the volume knob. So this is the best of both worlds for me. Replacing the head unit in one of these is nothing that YouTube hasn't ever seen before, so I'm not gonna be boring and get too bogged down into the details. In fact, if there are no hangups, I'm hoping that I can do some cool editing magic. All right, hopefully that worked, but that's not really the point. Check that out. And I think because I started this in a video, the CarPlay is not pulling up, but it does work wirelessly, and it works really fast too, which I was pleasantly surprised by. And it didn't even rain. So it is officially the next day, and I did not get around to doing this yesterday, so I've got a new bout of energy and I'm about to start tackling this. I'm gonna take everything apart, then take these apart and join them with the other complete door panels that I got on Facebook. Hope you all enjoyed that time lapse. I went ahead and did the passenger door off camera. There's the driver door. But check this out. I was kind of surprised to find that somebody already did the work for me. As far as putting this onto the new one, we'll see if this makes it easier or harder. Like especially having to deal with this one that's ripped. And here's a side-by-side comparison before and after. You can see it doesn't quite match up, but it actually, and again, I could just be coping, but it actually seems to match this top trim piece pretty nicely, at least somewhat. Some cut up hands, the dirt, and about 15-20 minutes later, and I've got them separated and they line up. And so I don't know why I started with the driver's side, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to assemble this one just before I ruin another perfectly good door panel. Only thing that can go wrong at this point is if the hardware fails to lock the two together. We'll see. At this point, you probably know the drill because I've said it like 3 times, but I'm gonna take these number 8 screws, these 1/8 inch washers, they're about 1 inch in diameter. Just place them on that thing and join them up. And just like that, I have successfully done surgery on a door panel. You can see everything went in smoothly. I used a smaller one here because I couldn't find my other one of these. And I figured it's okay because of this little foam block. It's all right. And it didn't poke through on the front. Would have poked through right there, so how about that? And it actually looks really good. You can see, I mean, there's not much difference. And again, just like CarPlay, if there are no hangups, hopefully this will work. Easy peasy. Good riddance to the speaker holes. So now it's speaker time, and I don't know if this is going to be as easy as I thought because I have no idea what's going on here. I think my first step is going to be to open the new speakers and see what all I have. Then figure out this wiring situation. I'm afraid that these do actually go up to the head unit, and a new harness isn't going to solve all of my problems. So these are the speakers that I've got. They're these Kicker 6.5 inch coaxial. Since I ordered them from Crutchfield, they also came with these Metra harnesses. I'm thinking that they were going to just plug in here somehow, and it would save me some trouble. But I believe this is what I have. It's basically a replacement for this, which I already have. And Wiring is running down through here, and it comes out here at some point. Maybe all I need to do is just reconnect the purple and the pink. That's what I kind of just don't know what I'm doing. So here's what the underside of that speaker looked like. Definitely not in the best shape. I've gotten it disconnected. And now my question is, am I about to wire up to these? It appears like everything from the head unit actually comes through in this bundle. And maybe the wiring for the speaker is supposed to be on the outside, like it used to be here. I think the best course of action from here, since I just really don't know what I'm doing, is take a look in the rear, analyze the OEM setup, because I believe nothing from this was run into the amp or anything. Base my new wiring off of this. Looking at the rear speaker setup, it's much more clear. So we have the main harness bringing down the positive and negative leads, and then they go into this other harness, and then there's some additional wires out to the side that come in and go to the speaker. For the rear, I went with kicker as well, just to match everything up. These are a little less powerful and a little smaller, 5 1/4 inch. Crutchfield was nice enough to include these adapters. This should hopefully be plug and play from Toyota to aftermarket speaker, and ideally I won't have to do any trimming of the interior of this door panel. And yeah, it does look like they'll fit nicely in there. I'll lose this harness, I guess, so I gotta figure that out. But turns out the harnesses that were included were actually useful, and I'm hoping I can use them on the other side as well. Plugs right into this factory harness. It already has these ends made for you, and then you just plug them into the positive and the negative on the speaker. And there we go. So I end up using those cutouts for the wiring. I'm sure that's probably what they're for. There's no hardware mounting this at the top, but it's pretty snug in there. I think this looks good. So for this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I've already pulled the harness out of here, and I won't be needing this anymore. And it looks like whoever did the previous install, you know, ran new wires for the tweeters and these speakers and just wired these together or taped them together. So these shouldn't be doing anything. I think I'm just gonna leave them. These wires, obviously pink to pink and purple to purple. I don't have a lot of wire to work with here, which is somewhat frustrating, but it should be fine. And then I'm gonna pass everything through here, this hole, and it will come out the back of here. So I've buttoned everything up on the driver's side. You can see there's a little bit of a color mismatch, maybe a lot of it of with the new lower thing. I think the camera honestly makes it worse because this looks really yellow on camera, but it's gray in real life. So I don't know, I guess it's the sun. But overall, everything fit in there. Speakers work. And now I've got to jump on to the passenger side. Since now I know what I'm doing, I'd just do a time lapse of it and try to speed run it. Everything went really smooth once I knew what I was doing. I mean, to be fair, I just copied what was done on the back door, but it's all in there. It just looks so yellow on camera, but it doesn't really look that way. I don't know. So in this video, we cleaned up some wiring, installed CarPlay and new speakers front and back. Then I think the most time-consuming aspect of this project was replacing these while keeping the top part. If you stuck around this far, I really appreciate you watching. Make sure to stay tuned. Leave a like, comment if I missed anything. And yeah, thanks for watching.